Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome to my video talking about the question, should you return to Enlisted in 2022? And obviously by the fact that I am even making this video, the answer is yes, absolutely. And I'll talk about why I kind of wanted to make this video briefly. The reason really is that I think a lot of people tried Enlisted in 2021 when it went into open beta, and they liked it. They liked the idea of the game, but there was just so many problems that it was really hard to get into the game. I'll be the first to tell you that going into open beta, there were a lot of issues with Enlisted. And as a result, I think a lot of people left the game. And so I think it's important to make a video kind of discussing the changes that Darkflow have made to make Enlisted a much better game than it was a year ago and fix a lot of those core issues that I think a lot of players had with the game. And hopefully you guys would be willing to come back, give the game a shot, because I think it is a very good game at this point and is in a much better place than it was, say, a year ago. So starting off, guys, number one, planes. I think a lot of people, well, depending on when you played Enlisted, planes have ranged from flying paper planes that you can pilot to flying tanks to meat grinding like murder machines. So right now, planes are in a much better place. Planes are a lot better balanced. It takes 60 seconds before you can even spawn a plane at the beginning of a match, which means that you can no longer spawn kill the way you used to be able to. There's now spawn protection, so even if you did just spawn, you're not going to get nuked by a plane. And so all in all, planes are a lot better balanced in that regard, especially, for those of you that might have played when Enlisted first came out in open beta and remember the dark days of getting spawn killed and spawn camped by planes. Another important thing that has really made the game a lot better was the addition of better kind of mechanics for plane bombing runs. So previously in Enlisted's history, bombing runs would just basically drop a nuclear bomb that exploded in a giant AoE. Now the bombs actually explode in a cone upward, the way bombs would in real life. And so there is that kind of concussion effect around the bomb, and if it's a big enough bomb, you are just screwed. But if you go prone, you get a lot more agency over being able to avoid those bombs. And things like craters and ditches and trenches will actually protect you from bombs a lot more effectively than they previously did. So right now, guys, planes, much better balance and a much better place than they were in previous iterations of Enlisted. Now, another huge thing, guys, weapon and movement have been completely reworked and rebalanced overall. Weapons are in a much better place than they were 2 months ago, let alone a year ago. Bolt-action rifles have seen a massive overhaul and are much more effective in the game, especially if you're able to accurately aim them. Excuse me, I had a stroke a little bit there. And other weapons have also seen major reworks. Machine guns, SMGs, semi-auto rifles, all of these weapons. Flamethrowers have seen rebalances overall. All of these weapons have had major rebalances overall and have definitely found their place in the meta. So those of you that might have played Enlisted had problems with the way that weapons were balanced in previous iterations of the game, especially bolt-action rifles, I think you're going to be happy to hear that the game has done a great job at making all of those weapons feel as powerful as they probably should. And also, if you're a new player and you're a low level, you have a lot better of a fighting chance against those power weapons because bolt-action rifles are so good right now and can do some serious damage in the game. Movement also has seen a major rework, like I mentioned. There is no longer the days of bunny hopping around corners or drop shotting your enemies like it's Call of Duty. They've added animations and deterrents to be able to do that to where it's really just not that effective anymore. There are times you can do it because at the end of the day, it is an arcade shooter, but it is significantly harder to do these crazy kind of like bunny hopping around corners and bunny hopping around the map the way that you do in games like Call of Duty or even I'm not even sure other games. Battlefield's are pretty fast nowadays. Regardless, movement overall, it feels a lot better. So those of you that might have had issues with the movement, I think, again, you're going to be happy to hear that movement has had a major rebalance and is much better off today than it was months ago. The AI is much better now. We'll talk about this very briefly because AI is something that is going to be continuously worked on throughout Enlisted's lifetime. And so it is a lot better than it used to be. You can now give personal commands to your AI. They're a lot better about holding ground and staying in the same position as opposed to how they used to kind of run around. They're a lot better at using cover. They're a lot better at responding to your individual commands. there's a lot of things that the AI are a lot better about. They don't shoot you through bushes nearly as much anymore. They put out an update for AI just about every single patch. So there is a million things better about the AI in Enlisted. And so if that was a big issue that you had with the game, I definitely recommend trying it out, playing around with your squads, and using them to their maximum effect. There's a lot of additional features added to the game. Shovels, bombing runs, smoke artillery are just 3 that I could name off the top of my head. Flamethrowers have seen buffs. Bazookas and high explosive anti-tank weapons have all seen buffs. I can't even remember some other ones. There's so many additions to the game that have been added. Movable AT guns are another one that I can think of off the top of my head. There's so many additions to the game. There have been like 20 making Enlisted a better places that are a result of direct feedback from the player base. And as a result, Enlisted is in a much better place just in terms of quality of life than it was before. And I think that's such a huge thing. So if you felt that the developers were acting a little bit too slowly whenever you played Enlisted, I think that, you'd be very pleasantly surprised to hear that they're a lot faster now. The devs very much so react to player feedback. They're very quick to respond and to fix issues with the game and get those quality of life updates out. There's just so many that I can't even list them all. Like you can go and look at the Making Enlisted a Better Places, and there's like 20 of them at this point. So very good job from the developers in that regard as well. And finally, guys, the absolute biggest thing and why you should try Enlisted and why I think a lot of people should return to the game is the Pacific. The Pacific is coming. I have a video over what is going to be in it. You can click the card in the top right of your screen right now to check that out. But guys, it is time. The Pacific is coming. And so if that was something that you really wanted to see in Enlisted and you're tired of all these World War II games ignoring such a major theater of operations during World War II, now's the time to get back into Enlisted. Do some bonsai charging with me in-game. And I will see you guys island hopping out there. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, follow me, twitch.tv/HeyQuadro, and join our community Discord. The links for those are in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.